Hey up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a speed build. Now this is my first attempt at doing any kind of shell challenge. Obviously there's lots of different very well known simmers who kind of create their own shell challenges, and this was the latest lilsimsie one. In fact this was her cow plant justice shell, which you can just see up in the top left hand corner. Yeah, so I'll jump right into it. What I was trying to do here was I was trying to actually create like a little river or waterway that runs under the house, but it wasn't quite working out, and it's probably user error. It's probably something I did that meant it didn't work, but I ended up having to abandon that idea. So I just wanted to jump in and show you that, just in case you're wondering what was going on. Yeah, so this is our shell. I decided to kind of make it in the style of kind of maybe an older couple, maybe someone who's kind of in their late 50s, early 60s. This is kind of their dream home that they've moved to after all their children have kind of grown up and moved out. And yeah, they're right on the edge of the ocean. They have kind of a beautiful beach view, and they've got like little balconies and lots of areas to sit out and this, that and the other. That was kind of the idea behind it. So yeah, that's kind of the story, and you'll see that I've kind of decorated in that way as well, because I kind of wanted it to be that kind of theme. This isn't for any type of family that we have at the moment. I just decided to do it because I fancied doing a build challenge, to be honest. I've obviously been doing a lot of Let's Plays and kind of family challenges on the channel, and I wanted to have a go at doing a build challenge, also doing a speed build, because I find it a little bit I'm not a massively talkative person, and on the Let's Plays I kind of struggle with having to talk all the time, although my family and friends will be like, no you don't, you're fine at talking. But anyway, yes, so we're playing around with different things like foundations here, and kind of the roof line and this, that and the other, and I was trying to do a foundation design here, and I kind of was struggling to get the kind of ethos of what the house is. You can see that I'm painting kind of the main part of the house in this kind of timber stone style. So I kind of got the idea that maybe it was a kind of single rectangular farmhouse when these guys bought it, and then they kind of adapted it. They put a couple of extensions on it to make it bigger and a bit more modern, so it's kind of that real blend of modern and old. You get that quite a lot here in the UK, that people like adapt old buildings for newer purposes. So you'll see that the two kind of extensions I've given separate foundation colour, just to really kind of highlight that they are the new build rather than the old. There's a bit there at the end that I made part of the new extension, but actually in the very final bit I changed it. These stairs also change as well. I don't know if you ever find this when you're doing it, but I can like start something and then the end product looks a lot different to what it looked like in the first kind of go. So yeah, here I kind of experimented with the glass roof. It really didn't work, so we ended up going for like a trellis effect with that. There you go, you can see with the what's it called, the fence, the kind of low fence. I think that looks really nice, especially when we get some plants up there later on. So yeah, this is the main entrance where you can see the stairs on the left, and there's kind of like a hallway in that extension. And then we've got like a main open plan living space. Oh, I'm just putting a guttering on there. It's a really British thing, I think, is having guttering on the outside of your house. But it's probably not. I'm sure everybody has guttering now I've said that. But it feels like something that you inherently see on British houses, so I put it on there. I can't remember what I was saying now. See, this is the problem with me. I lose my train of thought. Yeah, I thought they'd be really nice to have those huge windows on this side, because it looks out over the ocean. It was like you've got to have an amazing view, haven't you? You can't get out to the garden from that side, but I just thought it was nice to kind of have the view out of the living room. So this is where I'm moving the stairs around. It's actually really hard because this kind of whole shell that Simsie did is on a diagonal. There's very limited places where you can put the stairs. So I think I got quite lucky actually with this layout, because the stairs don't interfere with the downstairs space too much. Upstairs, you'll see we lose quite a bit of space, but I feel like this is one of those houses where they'll have lots of people round, lots of kind of family dinners, lots of people hanging out and stuff, but I don't feel like there'll be that many people staying over. so I don't feel like they need that much guest space. It's more kind of their space is upstairs and the kind of downstairs is like the family communal space. So I think that's quite common in kind of British homes, is that you have a lot of people tend to go around to each other's houses, but you don't necessarily stay because everyone kind of lives in the same area as their family. Certainly it's like that up in Yorkshire. So there's no point in staying over at your family's house because more often than not you live around the corner. So that's kind of the theme for here. I absolutely love this Parenthood kitchen. It's my absolute favourite kitchen. I love the blue. I mean, I'm a bit of a sucker for blue anyway. Oh, you might see there by the sink, I actually merged two counters together. So they're not automatically together. They're on a kind of slight diagonal. I'm not sure what that would look like in play, because obviously they're clipping into each other, but I just thought for the purpose of the build it looked quite nice to have a continuity of counters going all around the side. You can't see it now. I think what I might do very quickly is jump into the game and walk you around the build at the end, just very quickly, so you can see some of the features that I've talked about. I also like these concrete slabs for the bathrooms. It kind of makes it look like there isn't anything there, but when you look quite closely they're very big tiles. That's quite a modern style for bathroom tiles at the moment, is to have really, really big floor tiles, so I thought that was quite good. Sorry guys, I'm just going to have a drink of my coffee, so sorry for the random drink ASMR. So this is the hallway area. So I wanted to create kind of a place where you would sit and kind of take your coat off and your shoes and everything. And I love that. I'm trying to search for it. It took me ages to find it. I love this kind of coat rack thing, because I could really imagine using that in real life, you know. Kind of sit down on the bench, take your shoes off, hang your coat up. Because again, that's not so much anymore. I feel like people aren't as kind of used to taking their shoes off when they go in someone's house anymore. But when I was first growing up, that was something that you did every time you went to someone's house. You took your coat off and you took your shoes off. So I like having that kind of area in the house still. So yeah, we're just finding some bar stool. I spent ages looking for a bar stool as well. Put a couple of, what are they called? Not columns. I don't know. Anyway, you'll see that I saved there and just jumped out and back in. I had to do this over 4 different saves, so I'm sorry if it kind of jumps about a little bit. But here we are doing, so this is kind of like a home office space, and I created this for the granddad character because I kind of thought that he might, I love that flooring as well. That's a base game flooring. I actually think it's really nice. It's kind of very light. Dark blue, again, classic me. Yeah, we kind of had the idea that maybe the dad would be like an ex-businessman. Maybe he's retired, but he still dabbles every now and again in business. He is very involved in a few different clubs and societies. You'll see we put some things on the wall a little bit later for things that he's involved in. And yeah, I mean, I am absolutely a book lover. I love books, I love reading, I love having office spaces. So this is a bit indulgent for me, really, more than anything, is that this is kind of like my office of dreams. So yeah, you see there's lots of different little plans, and we put some like pennants up on the other wall in a second. Now this, I actually got really lucky with this dresser, because I think that dresser is far too wide. It gets in the way of everything, but because we had kitchen counters on the other side, you can clip the dresser through the wall and it doesn't matter if it goes through the wall because it's hidden by the counters. So that's a smart tip there for you. Here I'm playing around with blinds. I don't know why, because I think I was trying to make the big blinds fit the windows, but then I realised later on there is a smaller version of that blind. But yeah, just playing around with some things. So yeah, you can see all the kind of different pennants and like society plaques and things on the wall there. That's kind of what he's kind of built up over the years. He's got a little laptop so he can get away from the grandkids and the wife. I mean, to be fair, this could be the wife's office. I'm not being, gender stereotype. It could be, maybe the wife is the businesswoman and she raised all the money for the family. It just, in my mind when I was thinking of it, it was kind of a granddad type, not a grandma. I think at the moment I modelled this on kind of grandparents that I know right now. Obviously, grandparents now grew up in a very different world to what we're living in at the moment. So 9 times out of 10, you meet a grandparent now, it is going to be the grandfather that was the breadwinner. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with that. Oh my god, these plants took so long. I really wanted this house to be like the kind of house where there's just like plants kind of randomly around the house. But some of them didn't quite work, so I think I go back and change that a little bit, especially when we get the dining table in there as well. I love the idea of having plants under here, but then I was looking at it later and I was like, that wouldn't be realistic. Like, those plants wouldn't survive there. So we moved them. And I spent a while here trying to decide. I kind of wanted a fireplace in the house because, again, it's supposed to be quite an old farmhouse. And I kind of thought they would maybe keep the fireplace. But you'll see that originally I was trying to kind of get the TV above the fireplace and have like the sofas and everything around the fire, but it just felt a bit cramped. And I also thought, you're missing the view then. The whole point of these beautiful big windows is that you're looking out on the view. So we change it all around. We still keep the fireplace, but it's almost like a feature on the side of the room rather than it being like a focal point. I think that works quite well. You find that quite a lot in adapted homes, is that you do still have things like fireplaces that are from the old house, but they're not really used as much. So now there is a little bit of custom content in here. That TV stand is from the Tiny Living pack, but it's actually the Tiny Living extra pack or something. There's a custom content pack that you can get, which basically is just somebody, I can't remember his name, has basically deconstructed a lot of the bigger pieces from the Tiny Living pack and made them into kind of more flexible pieces. Deligracy did a video on that pack, so maybe go to her channel, see if you can find it if you're interested in it. Love these rugs as well, but I wish they came in more swatches. I generally just tend to go for the natural one. Coffee tables are also far too big in this game. I think do I size one down in the end? Or do I just, no, I think I just use that one. I have experimented on another build that I've been doing with sizing down those coffee tables, and it does work quite well. Although I don't know how it would work in gameplay. In builds, obviously, it looks fine. And then we're just styling the fireplace, because I was a bit like, well, now we're not using the fireplace, how do we style it? So you'll see I kind of put a couple of really random things on it. It's kind of, the whole kind of aesthetic of this house is a bit that it's pieces of furniture and collectibles that they have kind of collected over a number of years. So you'll see that not quite all the furniture matches, all of the pictures are a bit weird. There's a few, like that duck. I don't know about you, but I found that my aunts and uncles and grandparents always have these really random kind of little statues in their house, and it's like, where did you get that from? So that's what the duck is. It's a bit of an homage to that. And then what I decided to do is create a little kids play area, because I figured that they'd have the grandkids over quite a lot, maybe look after the grandkids while mum and dad are at work. So I thought they could have a little play area with some toys and stuff, because I mean, I didn't actually have any grandparents. Oh, well, obviously I did actually have grandparents, but sadly all my grandparents died before I was born. So I've never had the experience as a child of going round and being looked after by my grandparents, but my husband has, and he always had toys and that kind of thing at his grandparents' house. So I like the idea of there being a toy box. And actually I spent a lot of time at my aunt's house, and she always had like toys and things for me to play with when I got there, so that's kind of why I put that in. And then I put one of those stereos in. You can see it at the side of the fireplace. Again, I always find that aunts, uncles, grandparents, and even like our parents seem to have these huge hi-fi music systems. And again, I think it's a throwback to before we had like kind of digital music. And obviously me and Tom, we listen to our Google Home now. We just listen to music on Spotify and stuff. But again, I feel like it's one of those things that our parents would probably have spent a lot of money on, is a really, really good hi-fi system. And then they don't really get used now with technology as it is. So I put that in there as that as well. I really hope I'm not offending anybody by talking about it like this. It's just kind of this is me kind of lending a bit of my experience and my own family, kind of what I've seen in the homes of my family and friends to this build. So yeah, I don't want to offend anyone. Oh, you can see the kitchen counter there a bit more. It does look like it's clipped into it when you look closely, but I think it kind of works. And I really like those shelves up on the wall, the kind of the baskets and the bits of wood sticking out. I really like those. You may have just spied then when I was playing around with placing objects, the dresser coming through from the other room, which obviously it does clip through the wall, but like I say, it's hidden by the counters. So then we were putting things on the side. I always like decorating my kitchen side, so I feel it just feels a bit more realistic then. And then I wanted to find something to put in this space, and I thought, what about if they've got this really weird dresser of like a crockery set? Again, we don't really seem to get sets of crockery, or actually, I tell that a lie, me and my husband do have a cutlery set. We have a canteen of cutlery, which I feel is a very British thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's basically you get this posh cutlery set in a box. We got it when we were married. It was a wedding present, and I think that's kind of quite traditional, because usually when you get married you get your first home. I mean, this is like going back like 50 years in the UK. That was a tradition. And you get this canteen of cutlery, and it's really posh. And I'm not really sure whether you're supposed to use it when people come round to dine or what, but yeah, we had it bought, and do you know what? It sat in the box for years, and it was never used. Because we always just used our crappy IKEA cutlery. And anyway, when we moved house a couple of years ago, we kind of said we've got no space for this canteen of cutlery, which is just cutlery in a box. It's just a posh word for cutlery in a box. And so we said, oh, sod it. So we took it out of the box, and we just use it every day now. But yeah, that was the very, very long-winded kind of explanation for why I put that crockery cupboard just outside the kitchen. So now I'm doing a bit of landscaping around the back and the side of the house. Yeah, just playing around with stuff here, just to try and make it look a bit pretty. I like the foundations because you can lift the house up, but I don't like the look of foundations, to be honest, when you look at them. I feel like in the UK we do a really good job of hiding foundations. We don't always have that differentiation between the house and the foundation. So for me it feels really weird to visibly see the foundation of the house. So I like to hide it. Here I was playing around with trying to find a gate. I'm sure I've seen someone somewhere on YouTube make a gate that is like double wide out of two single gates, but I couldn't work it out myself. So I just decided to have like an open gate, because I know that's probably not particularly secure in reality, but it just looked nicer. So just doing a bit of terrain painting, and placing a few little bits. I think this is when we change the wall colour here. So I think that corner that's white, I think we change it because it just didn't look right. Or is it later on? I can't remember. But I quite like this ivy climbing up the wall. I think it looks quite good. Oh God, I spent ages trying to place that tree. But yeah, little place, couple of bins. I really like the garden that we create here. Just kind of floral borders that we put all down the side. I just randomly place in all the different bushes and flowers that you get. And then here I decided that we'd do a little kind of kitchen garden allotment style thing. So get out all the tiny planters. And then we get some bees, and yeah, I could just imagine and a flower arranging table. It's kind of feels like a really grandparenty thing to do is making flower arrangements and doing that kind of thing. So yeah, we kind of created that little area there, and then again just arranging against the fence. And I kind of felt like it didn't matter if these kind of things clipped through the fence, because it's quite a wide slatted fence, and obviously plants would grow through that naturally anyway, so that was fine. Put some more flowers on. I really like those big ferns. Are they ferns? I think they look really good in that side. And then we put this fountain in. Well, it's not a fountain, it's more of a water feature. I don't really tend to place water features in my builds that much, but I just thought that here it seemed like the type of thing that my imaginary Sims that I'm imagining for this would do. I can imagine going to a garden centre and spending far too much money on it, and then the kind of kids come around and go, what is that? That is hideous. But they spent far too much money on it to admit that they don't like it. So yeah, and you can see there's a kind of a chair and some kind of lounge stuff down there in the garden, so they can kind of sit out and have a drink and yeah, just look at the view. I was thinking about putting some kids stuff out there, but I decided not to in the end. And here we're just putting some some kind of like vines, I suppose, or flowers in the trellis, just to give a little bit of shade, and I think it gives a little bit of interest to that trellis as well. And then I'm placing the chimney, because obviously we've got a fireplace. And then we go to upstairs. Now this is where you'll see we don't actually have that much space when we get upstairs, and I could have, I think I do extend out over the kitchen a little bit. Yeah, there you can see I just extend it. Ah, this is when we change the, yeah. It's basically just made the rectangular old building a little bit longer, just to get us a bit more space, because I kind of wanted a master bedroom and ensuite, and then a second bedroom and bath. I suppose house bathroom, but actually it's more of an ensuite because you've got 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and there's also a laundry up here. It is a tiny laundry, but there is a laundry nevertheless. Yeah, so you'll see there's quite a lot of lost space by the stairs, but I actually quite like it, and I think we put a plant in the little triangular kind of bit. Like I say, this is kind of house where it doesn't matter if you haven't got a lot of upstairs space, because it's more of a communal house for downstairs living. Yeah, really like those Seasons windows. I use them a lot. And I really like that. Is it base game wallpaper? I think it is actually, the tiles with the colour on the top. So this is the grandparents' room. This is the kind of the master room, and you'll see they've got a little balcony with some. I really wanted sliding doors, but they don't have sliding doors in The Sims, so those kind of push open doors. And yeah, just kind of put in some. I'm trying to think if I put custom content in here. Oh yes, I do. That is those bedside tables are from the IKEA stuff pack, which is custom content. Again, I think that's a Deligracy one that I tend to get a lot of my custom content pack ideas from Deligracy, because she uses a lot of custom content in her videos, and she's kind of got a similar style to me in terms of what she goes for. So yeah, I would highly recommend getting a little bit of custom content if you can. It just kind of helps with things. Things like bedside tables are ridiculously big in The Sims, so I found that IKEA one, it's a lot smaller. So here I'm just playing around with the ensuite. I saw James Turner do this. He puts a little bit of a wall in, and then puts a window in between the kind of shower and the bath space and the rest of the bathroom. I think it works really well. Now I haven't play tested that bathroom, at least I don't think I have. So we might do that when we hop back in to the video, because obviously that wall with the glass in is on a diagonal, so it automatically kind of stretches a little bit. I would have thought you would still be able to walk around it, but we'll test it. But yeah, this university shower, I very rarely use proper showers anymore. I just tend to put that university shower in and build kind of a wet room now in my builds. And then we're just creating these, I think that's Parenthood again. I think the Parenthood stuff that you get with Parenthood is really good. I really like it. It's just kind of my aesthetic, but I think they've got the dimensions quite well in those as well. They're not too deep, whereas a lot of the kind of dresses, like I said before, they're really deep, and so they take up a lot of space in a room. So yeah, just putting a little bit of decoration in. I don't know if you can see on the wall by that plant in the background, there's also those little booties in that picture frame. I think that's a really cute decoration, and I use it quite a lot in builds where there's families. I can just imagine doing that. I kind of wish my mum had kept some of my boots now, because I think that would be a lovely little gift to make for her. So yeah, if you've got any really small children, which I doubt any of people, but I mean, I have very few people watch these videos anyway, but if I have any kind of mums or dads watching this, I think that'd be a really cute idea to make for your kind of mum or dad who are your children's grandparents, so I think that'd be really sweet. So yeah, just decorating their little balcony space here. I was trying to look for some kind of like shade, but I don't think I put anything in the end. Just putting a load of plants. And then I kind of thought we'd have this kind of couch and side table, but then there's another chair just on the other side of the door eventually as well. So yeah, just somewhere where they'd sit out in the morning, maybe have a cup of coffee. I can imagine one of them going downstairs and making a cup of coffee, bringing it upstairs for both of them, and then maybe on a nice sunny day they sit out here and kind of have their morning coffee or morning cup of tea together. I can actually imagine Tom's, that's my husband, his parents doing this at their house. So that's kind of where that was from. And then I remembered that we had that toy box, so I just swapped that out. Then we're putting the plant in this little triangular space there, which I think I had to wait quite a while to find the perfect plant, but yeah, I think that just fills up that space quite nicely. And here we're putting the laundry in. Yeah, it's absolutely tiny. Again, I haven't play tested it, but we will do. But it's perfect really for that kind of thing. I had thought about giving them a little balcony space as well, but then I just decided to make it into like a flowered roof. So again, those little bedside tables are from the Deconstructed Tiny Living custom pack. I love that picture of the framed fabric. I think that's really cute. Right, so yeah, I kind of, with this, I made the bathroom nice and big so that we could have a bath in it, because again, I figured that, you know, if grandparents were having children over, they would need to be able to bathe their grandchildren, and then realised there wasn't actually enough space in the bedroom for a bassinet or a toddler bed. So you've kind of to use your imagination a little bit here, that, you know, if a toddler came to stay or a child came to stay, maybe they don't stay over, maybe they don't sleep over, and if they do, they're kind of the age that they would sleep in a double bed. So the guest bed is for all ages, obviously not a baby, but yeah, you've to kind of just suspend reality a little bit there. And then we decided to use this space as a little barbecue kind of outdoor area, where the family would maybe come out and dine outside if it was a nice day. You probably could get a bigger table up there, but I just decided to get a table for 4 people. And I think that is it. So let's jump on into the build. Right, okay, so this is Windenburg, and we're in the game. I've moved my kind of general sim in. So this is just a randomly generated sim that I got when I started this save. So this is kind of like my build save, where I have all my different builds and stuff in it. And she's just, I don't even know her name, something Spain. What is her name, actually? Carrie Spain, there you go. So she is my kind of, my test sim. So yeah, this is the house that we're in. Obviously this is the garden area. Let me zoom in, and then you can, I don't know how do some sims do that kind of like low down like this but wider out, because when I zoom out it always just goes to the above. I need to look into that. But anyway, this is the house, so you'll see. We'll bring her in. Let's have her come go here. It's a shame that you can't actually interact with any of these coat hooks and things, because I think that'd be really cool if they could use the coat hook to change from, say, like cold weather wear into kind of everyday clothes. That'd be quite cool when you came in the house. So yeah, little bathroom here on the side. I can't remember if we showed building that. Oh yes, I think we did, didn't we? So yeah, this is the kind of the bathroom area. Oh god, I'm really bad at this whole zooming in thing to look at. Right, I'll just stay this far out. So yeah, there's a bath there. That's actually the bath for bathing toddlers, so I put the bath in down here rather than a shower. So you don't actually need a bath upstairs, so we'll go up there in a second anyway and have a look at that. But yeah, bath there, toilet and everything that you need. There's that canteen, that crockery thing that I told you about. So this is the kitchen. It's a little dark at the moment because I used some slightly different lighting. Oh no, that's custom lighting. That's why. So this lighting at the moment that they've put in is because I was putting some of the Tiny Living deconstructed lights in there. So that's why it looks a bit darker than normal. But yeah, you can see here the counters do kind of clip into each other. But I like the line of them going around like that in the semi-diagonal. So you just have to suspend reality there a little bit. So yeah, nice little kind of communal big kitchen. So you can imagine, you know, kind of parents and grandparents cooking, or maybe the daughters and sons cooking and the grandparents sitting down and watching and that kind of thing. And then we've got the office space again, which I just really love this office. I think it's really cute. Can she get in here? I'm assuming she can. I wouldn't have thought there would be any problem with that. Yeah, she can get in there, no problem. So that's good. Yeah, so there's all this kind of living space around here. Nice bright yellow coffee table. There's the duck that we were talking about. So yeah, there's all sorts of... Oh, it's got rid of my little table that the TV was stood on. So again, yeah, that's not supposed to be hanging from the wall. I kind of find it a bit... Oh, where's she going there? Oh, she's going to barbecue. No, don't barbecue. Let's go upstairs. So she can walk up the stairs. That's good. Let's see if she can... Let's just put... She can't upgrade, can she? She's going to have to take a shower. No, don't barbecue. Oh, she's hungry, isn't she? That's why. Why don't you come in here? Let's test out this shower. Yeah, take a brisk shower. Let's see if she can get in here. I think she can because she's walking towards it. So that's good. Yep, there you go. That's completely play tested. So has that got any stuff in it? It hasn't, has it yet? So we can't really test the laundry. Let's use the toilet. Finish that and then wash hands. If we put her in for the shower again, is there any laundry in there? No. Maybe if you just keep having her take showers. I love this look, by the way, this kind of, this whole look that she's got going on. I think it's brilliant. Yeah, maybe if we just keep having her take showers. So while she's doing that, so this bathroom, actually, you could get rid of the bath and you could have a little walkway into the bathroom from this bedroom, and you could make it a complete ensuite, and then you can have the door at this side as well, which, laundry, brilliant. Which then it creates an ensuite, creates a family bathroom. You could do that as well, but there is a bath in there. So finish that and let's do laundry, add to washing machine. I don't see there being any problem with getting in here, but I just want to play test it. Sorry, just having a quick, okay, so the bag glitches through her leg, but apart from that, it's fine. So wash laundry. Yeah, so that room works really well, which I think is quite sweet because, you know, I like my houses to be as realistic as they possibly can be. And in the houses, you would definitely need laundry. So I think if you're playing The Sims and you're trying to decide what kind of packs to go for, I definitely think the Laundry Days pack is worth it. You get really cool stuff anyway, like other build mode items. But you also get the ability to do laundry, which is cool. So yeah, there you go. That's the build. This is the spare room again, like we say, with the bathroom. Like I said, there is quite a lot of lost space up here in this hallway, but it's not the end of the world, and it makes it quite an attractive space then as well. Hallways and stairs can often be quite forgotten, can't they, on builds. So, and then this is Grandma and Granddad's room, which I think is a lovely space. You can imagine just, you know, getting up in the morning, opening the curtains. This curtain, I put one curtain there. It's kind of you have to imagine they pull that all the way on a night. But yeah, you can imagine them waking up on the morning, pushing that back, and then they get that. Oh, look at that view. Imagine getting up in the morning and seeing that view. How amazing that would be. Yeah, that would just be fantastic. And then you come out here and... Oh, I can't go through the wall. There we go. You come out here and you can sit... Oh, I'm doing a really bad job of that. Yeah, sit on your chair and look out to sea. So that is the build. I hope you like it. And yeah, I'll do another one of these in the future. But for now... I can't be bothered to do another shell challenge. I feel like I really get into it quite a lot. And so for me, let me just take a screenshot of this while, can I put her, let's put her needs away. Let me just get a screenshot of this whilst we are at it, and then I can use that as a thumbnail. There we go. Yeah, I feel like I get so into these builds and the minor detail that it takes me hours to build these. So, yeah, I'm not going to try and do this again for a while. Plus, I think there aren't any new shells out from The Sinners anyway. So I'll do another one, but it might be a little while before you see another one. But yeah, let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll be back soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.